can't stop the sun from shining whenever you're around.
Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks for joining me for the Virgo December horoscope. Wow, so much happening this month, and Christmas on top of it as well. So happy Christmas everyone. But we really do have a lot to deal with this month. So there's a minor grand trine which is really bringing abundance and blessings to you. Then we have Venus going retrograde in your house of romance and creativity and fun. We also have a solar eclipse happening, and Jupiter is changing signs and houses. So I'll go through this in depth in a moment. Just briefly, I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you, so I'll do that in a moment. I'll do your horoscope in depth, and then I'll do a psychic channeling at the end, so stay around for that. Okay, let's go to the board now. If you're new, please consider subscribing to this channel. I would really appreciate that. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. Okay, so let's go to the main board. Here we are. We'll draw these 2 tarot cards and crack on with it. Okay, I've already pre-shuffled the cards, but we're going to go with this one on top. Closing my eyes now. Lots of colours around you. It's quite a busy, active month. Aqua, orange, green, purple, all sorts of colours I can see here flitting in and out. It, you know, if anything, you probably need to have a little bit of time out here and there because there's so many things happening. All right, the card that comes up is the Ace of Wands. This is a new beginning for you where you could be feeling more inspired, more motivated. It's like Spirit is handing you the ability to do stuff, okay, because you're motivated and you want to get on with stuff. You see these green leaves here? This is growth and opportunity. Yes, there's some challenges in the background. You know, manna doesn't just fall from heaven and, you know, you win the lottery or something. There is, you know, work that needs to be done. There's also some confusion in the background too. But despite all of that, that's in the background. Spirit is directly asking you to crack on, get stuff done this month, and you'll have the energy to do it. So that's the first half of the month if you want to think in terms of time. The second half of the month, let's have a look. Vivacious Virgo. Actually, I'll go with that one. Okay, so closing my eyes. I sort of get the feeling of small animals, cats or dogs, small furry animals. So it just feels like affection. So you could be receiving loads of affection this month, which would be nice. What's that? And then I see a silver chain. Actually, it's more than a chain. It's got like silver droplets or something on it. This is the feminine way of doing things, okay? So you can develop your femininity this month as well. Well, that's very interesting. It's the Hermit card. This doesn't come up very often. Remember, I was just saying you might need some time out, and here it is here. This is to concentrate on what's going on in your life, what's going on with you in your subconscious. Sometimes out there in the world, it's just too much. There's a dog here that means either teaching or being taught. Okay, so there's a little bit going on here in your 3rd house, 9th house. So yes, study might be on your mind. It could be either formal study or just impersonal research, or personal research that you're doing off your own bat, so to speak. Okay, so I do like this card, even, you know, you might think at first, oh, I don't want to be alone, but you won't feel lonely because you've got too much to do and it's interesting. Okay, so that's a major arcana, so that's important. All right, so bear those 2 cards in mind. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger for you so that you can see more easily. Okay, the main points. Okay, the minor grand trine that I spoke of. Mars and Scorpio in your 3rd. We have Venus in Capricorn in your 5th house of romance and creativity. And we have Neptune in Pisces here in your 7th house. So a fair bit to do with relationships and dealing with other people. And Mars always gives you a lot of energy, and it's coming from deep down in your psychic. So do watch your communications are not like a little bit abrasive or forceful. That could indicate that. But then we have Venus in Capricorn here, which will sort of minimise that raw energy of Mars, make it more polite, cooperative and harmonious. Neptune's quite spiritual here in your 7th house. You do, with this though, I would say you need to be cautious that you don't look at relationships with rose-coloured glasses, okay? So here, these are the significant, important relationships in your life. If you have been in a sort of casual arrangement with somebody, there could be a tendency or a pull perhaps to want to make it more committed, or, you know, get it on a certain level. So just watch that you're not looking at the relationship, you know, purely from the positive and not considering all of the other factors as well, because you need to be practical, you know. So, but it is overall, it's a beautiful influence. Venus is going retrograde on the 19th in your 5th house here, so that could slow things down a bit in any potential relationships. It could be that there's some delays or obstacles that stand in your way to getting what you want. But on the other hand, too, that might just be what you need to slow things down a bit. It's like a new way of looking at the relationship needs to be developed when Venus is retrograde. And then when it turns direct, and I didn't write that down, but that's usually like maybe 4 weeks later, 3 or 4 weeks later, then that's the time to make a decision, because when a planet is retrograde, you've got one set of circumstances, and it usually changes when it turns direct, okay? Solar eclipse in Capricorn in your 4th house here at home. New beginnings with your home and family, okay? So it's like a new cycle begins, which is great. And Jupiter here in your 7th house, going from the 6th into the 7th. This is wonderful for growing relationships, partnerships of all kinds, whether that be your spouse or significant other, or perhaps a business partnership that you have with somebody. If you have a legal issue, it could also sort of progress, and you might get an offer of a settlement, for example. It's in Pisces, so it's probably a spiritual sort of element to it as well. Or if you do have people you don't get on with, there could be some change in that circumstance as well. So certainly a lot happening for you. Let's have a look in depth now at your horoscope. The 1st to the 4th of the month, Mars conjuncts Mars. So this gives you a really big burst of energy. You want to strike out on your own. You've got more willpower and energy generally, more physical strength, and you need to channel that into decisive action or work. Do watch for accidents, anger and irritability with Mars. 30th of November to the 4th of the month, Venus conjuncts Venus. This is beautiful for affection and companionship and love. A new friendship or romance could start. You could meet beautiful people. If you're already in an established relationship, it could be rejuvenated in some way. Someone, if you want to reach out to someone in particular, doing so now will create warm feelings and could be the start of something beautiful. It is important to be surrounded by beauty and harmony now. 3rd of December sees a solar eclipse in Sagittarius in your 4th house here, home and family. So you need more privacy, security and comfort, quality time with your family. There could also be major changes around your house too, and Mars is there as well, so maybe it's renovations or clean-up time or something like that. Whichever way it goes, there's a little bit of stress and challenge, but you're likely to have the energy to meet it. 2nd to the 6th, Venus sextiles Mars. Romance and flirtations are quite likely now. You could be feeling very affectionate and lively and expressive. Loving feelings flow between you and other people, particularly the opposite sex. Friendships are also strengthened and your creativity is on fire. 5th to the 8th, Mars sextiles Pluto. You may be considering a major overhaul to your ambitions and goals. If you do not have a sense of meaningful purpose in your life, you will want to reassess where you're going and why. Now's the time to make some progress on your goals. Opportunities come up to do what you really want. 7th to the 10th, Mars opposition your MC. Okay, so with this, it's a bit of a low point. You lose a little bit of energy here for doing new stuff. There could be some stress. Try and take it easy. Just watch for accidents or irritability. 2nd of December to the 15th, Jupiter squares your MC. This is like you come up with some brilliant idea. Maybe it's a new job or you want a promotion or something like that. And you're likely to be successful, but do watch for overconfidence, because anything that Jupiter touches grows. And sometimes it can give you the appearance of knowing what you're talking about when you don't know every sort of detail. But it's a bit strange, this influence, because appearance is very important, and your attitude and your mannerism, it might even be more important than your actual qualifications. So if you don't have the qualifications to do something, you might go for it anyway. 8th to the 15th, Venus conjuncts Pluto. This brings up deep emotions from your subconscious. You become more intense. So it's all emotions of all kinds, but particularly insecurities and fear or anxiety. And there's a compelling, urgent quality to your feelings. You could develop a powerful attraction to someone who fascinates you. And it is time to reveal your deepest feelings to the people that you trust. So be very cautious who you do that with. You may trust people, but do be cautious. Sometimes it's that sort of can be dangerous. Confidentiality is super important. So I suggest that you get a psychic reading with the psychics at Absolute Soul Secrets, rather than telling your friends or family things that if they come back later on, they could use it against you or something like that. Heard that story a million times now. Not saying that's going to happen, but yeah, it is a possibility. So just be careful who you trust. 12th to the 15th, Mars squares your ascendant. It can bring conflicts with people that you deal with on a daily basis. A bit of impatience might be around. It's important to compromise on the small things, but not the big things that are important to you. 12th to the 24th of January 2022, Mars moves into your 4th house here, okay? This means you'll be more productive in your home or with your family. You get together and do stuff. Could be home improvements. You're tackling ambitious projects now from your home. And just watch with your family, because sometimes there's friction with close relatives or parents. So there can be stress associated with that. 13th to the 2nd of January 2022, Mercury moves into your 5th house here. You could feel like communicating, entertaining, socialising with people. Maybe you want to throw some little games in with it, like, crossword puzzles or chess or something might appeal to you. You could enjoy the theatre, creative writing, and you could be very inspired with ideas for future creative projects. But lots of communications happening, and especially about socialising or going out and having fun and meeting new people. 5th to the 26th of December, Saturn sextiles Sun. This is wonderful for your work, if you work, or dealing with authority figures. Somebody can help you, somebody in a position of authority. You might get a recognition or promotion. You might sign a contract or an agreement of major importance. It's a positive time. You can dedicate yourself to worthwhile causes and meaningful work. 18th of December to the, on the 18th of December is the full moon in Gemini in your 11th house up here. And this means that groups, connections, other people are more important to you. Your community is featured perhaps. There's a closeness developing between yourself and others. Cultural events and participating in groups is likely now. 21st to the 20th of January 2022, Sun moves into your 5th house here. You're likely to feel energised and inspired. and you want to bring forth something into the world. You want to express yourself freely, playfully, and spontaneously. You could take some chances now, and fun and games are on the agenda, as well as romance and creative entertainment. 25th to the 28th, Mars sextiles Saturn gives you more self-discipline to get stuff done. So you might have a bit of a tedious job to do, but this will help you do it. You've got ability and the stamina to concentrate and crack on and do it. 19th of December to the 7th of January 2022, Saturn squares your moon. Okay, this can be very frustrating because there's some sort of critical change that happens with your home life, and you could feel sort of threatened in some way, or perhaps a family member requires special attention, or something is lost or damaged. You have to look at the situation and decide whether whatever it is has served its purpose. Is it time to discard it now? Okay, weak links are now exposed. People in situations that are not securely bound to you may sort of drop off. It might be to do with a friend, you perhaps someone that you thought that you could trust, you find out you couldn't, or something like that. But it is an excellent time to drop an old habit, a bad habit like overeating, smoking, drinking, that sort of thing. You might decide enough is enough. It's hard to break habits. There's 30 days that the body is sort of, if it's something that you're eating or drinking or smoking, can be 30 days to get rid of the biological addiction, but the psychological addiction takes longer than that. So you need a lot of determination to sustain new habits long term. 24th of December to the 30th, Venus conjuncts Pluto. A lot of emotions stirred up. And there could be, fears or insecurities with that. And you could develop a powerful attraction to someone who fascinates you. So, yeah, that could be good or bad, whatever. And again, reveal your feelings to people that you trust, okay? 27th to the 11th of May 2022, Jupiter moves into your 7th house here, and on the 27th of the month moves into Pisces. So this is great for important relationships, marriages, perhaps business partners, and it's just a smooth flowing, beautiful energy around at the moment. With Jupiter, you want to perhaps explore a bit more. You want to go out and expand your life in some way, but it's to do with these important relationships. Okay, 24th, there's also, because it's Pisces, there's also a spiritual sort of connection with it, and that you can really sense and feel if you pay attention. 24th to the 3rd of January 2022, Jupiter opposition your ascendant. Okay, you're going to meet a lot more people now, and perhaps you meet a very important, influential person who can help you a great deal. It's a great time for advertising or promotion and mass media communications. And you should accept most invitations to attend social events if you can, okay? Because there'll be mutually beneficial relationships that come out of this. 20th December to the 8th of January, Saturn squares Uranus. Now, this is quite frustrating. Maybe you don't feel as enthusiastic. We've been dealing with this on and off, and it's like restrictions and feeling blocked, and your creative and original plans are challenged, especially from conservative people or established rules. You could find new outlets for your creative ideas, but you have to look for them. Okay, so a bit of work involved here. Try a new angle. It's not the time to break the law. Make sure you're not on your mobile in your car or something, because you probably get caught. And reckless and risky behaviour is not likely to work out. So the important thing to remember is don't give up on the things that are important to you. Be patient. 23rd to the 11th of January 2022, Saturn sextiles Mercury. This gives you a lot of mental objectivity and the ability to concentrate. You could communicate very effectively now, especially to do with things that require precise, articulate formulation of principles and things like that. You're well organised, structured and very matter of fact, and you can easily reach agreements regarding rules and procedures. If there are any ambiguous or unclear communications, you can resolve those now, and you will set the record straight. It's a good time for receiving advice and assistance from a consultant or expert. The reverse is also true, okay? People might come to you for this advice. And finally, the 18th of December to the 19th of February 2022, Pluto trines your MC. It's a very positive time for your career. There's a lot of changes coming through. You may change jobs, receive additional training or education, which will help you reach your goals. You could develop a fresh new approach to your work, so lots of benefits coming to you. You could get a promotion or increased stature or recognition at work if you work. Or if you don't work, it could just be in your life generally. This fresh perspective comes into your life generally. So it's not just your work, it's your whole life. It's like you're sort of being renewed in some way. And you can find hidden talents within yourself. And you might go back to something you used to do years ago. Particularly if you're involved in the arts, you could develop a new style now. If you're in business, you might develop a new strategy or a new direction for your business. Okay, so that's it, Vivacious Virgos. Now, I'm just going to close my eyes and see what I can see for you for the month of December 2021. Okay, the ocean's in front of me. Okay, and what I see here is battleships. And they're doing like, that training, like war games or something like that. And they're just sailing back and forward. The sun's going down. Oh, right, now I get it. Okay, so it's been like you've been in a state of preparedness for war or confrontation, but the sun's going down. It's coming to an end. Whatever that circumstance where you felt maybe there was some sort of issue with something, it's coming to an end. And it's going to be a new day. Okay, so but you have to be patient. It's not going to just happen in 5 minutes. It's really sort of the end of confrontation. Certainly a minimization of anger or something like that. Now I'm seeing something being born. I thought it was going to be a baby because I can see the woman's legs. You just assume it's like a human baby, but it's not. It's some sort of furry animal like wildlife or something like that. So this says to me this is like an innate instinct that's coming up to the surface, and perhaps you haven't been in touch with your instincts as much as you could have been because you might have been sidetracked or something like that. But these are, and it's particularly like something like a wombat. So this is particularly for Australians because we did lose 3 billion animals in the fires a couple of years ago. It was just absolutely traumatic. And a lot of wombats were killed. But this is just like native wildlife, and that says to me native instincts that are purely your own, and nobody else has your instincts. So you might get this balance of thinking, what's going on in your mental realms, and instincts. You might get it sort of more fine-tuned, I think this is saying. Anyway, this wombat you're giving birth to, it's a really good thing, you know. Wombats, if you don't know them, they're really sort of like quite friendly, really large animals. A lot of people like them, but we don't know why we like them. There's not too many of them about now, but yeah, it's actually my husband's favourite animal. And there's nothing really, peculiar you can put your finger on and say, I really like that trait. But they're just sort of steady and reliable, and maybe that's it. I don't know. But anyway, I'll leave that with you to think about. Anything else? Yeah, now they're just showing me like a paw print in the sand. So it's like getting back to what's natural. And Virgo, you love that because you have this affinity with the earth. That's the thing about wombats. They like to dig a lot and they're very earthly bound. Okay, so this says to me it's about being practical and down to earth. So this is the natural instinct that you're going to be developing this month. Okay, I knew I'd get there if I persevered trying to work that out, what it meant. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you're new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Have a wonderful month, everyone. It's a very busy month, but you're going to get a lot done and you're going to be successful in a lot of things. Okay, thanks again and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.